Okay, good evening to everyone. So my name is Khalib, and I have a BSc and an MSc in IT field, and I'm currently working in ISM APAC. I'm at the ISM APAC from the beginning, where we started the company in Sri Lankan branch a few years back. And I'm basically a social worker as well. So most of the things that the project ideas that you have submitted, I will be trying to link with those experiences as well. So there's quite a lot to relate. So we'll see how it goes. So today's session is going to be, we'll try to make it more fun. So our audience today will be ranging from a variety of backgrounds, mainly the graduates, the fresh graduates including. And we'll try to cover some of the fundamentals more with examples and demos, and also try to give some tips and directions on your project ideas that you have submitted already. And try to, if time permits, we'll also try to jump into some e-commerce aspects of it, the sellability of your products, the practical aspects of your products, and try to make it interesting as possible. But whatever said and done, and ultimately what I'm trying to achieve today is to simply motivate you and trigger something in your mind to to trigger your curiosity related to this subject. So first, the first question whenever that you start learning something or studying about something is why? Why artificial intelligence? Why machine learning? So we'll start with that question. So humans, we learn quite a lot from our past experience. From our past experience, but machines are not like that. They are very limited. We give some instructions, we give some if instructions. If this happens, do this. If scenario B happens, do something else. So they are very limited to the instructions that we give. A washing machine, a TV, something like that. So what if we humans can teach these machines to learn things, to understand things, to understand reasoning, just like to mimic like a human being? So that's where we are getting into with machine learning. Are you an exception? Do you think that you are not part of the machine learning, the whole concept behind it, or artificial intelligence? Do you think, okay, මට මේක අදාළ නෑ, ඕක මේ අලුත්ම concept එකක්, මට ජීවිතේට ඔය concept එක ඇවිල්ලා නා මගේ ජීවිතේට? You might think like that. Okay, so it's not like that. So you are already part and parcel of it. So if you have if you're already using one of the top telecommunication providers in Sri Lanka, you must have experienced this. You must have contacted them through WhatsApp channels or any chatbots already to change your packages, change your ringtone and whatnot. And this is one of my recent experiences with them. So I took this real-time example so that you will really get an idea. So in the left side, you can see it's a WhatsApp chat of this telecommunication provider I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to change a data package to WhatsApp. And so in this green car, I'm trying to send some information and I'm trying to change it. So so this is me. I know, okay, how bots work. So I'm trying to send what I actually require, but it's not like that. When a typical user try to communicate, he will ask, can I please change the data package that I use? They will all put all this full sentence, and they can type in Sinhala as well. So we need to anticipate this, or you can call it Singlish. They will type in English. Mage data package එක මාරු කරන්න ඕන. Yeah, they can type that. So the bot should be able to intelligent enough to identify and cater them. So I tried with the WhatsApp, but I didn't get a quite good result. But then they have another bot, chatbot. So I'll share my experience with that. So I typed, I can't log into my website. Basically, I need to pay my bill, so I can't log in. So then the reply was, I don't quite understand what you just said. So just imagine if you have a actual person, call center guy behind the scene, they will never reply like this, will they? So because they have a bot, the bot can't, the machine can't really understand what this means, because it has not been trained to, it has not taught to do reply to this question. Okay. Then I am putting a little bit more weight to the sentence. Okay, I'm telling I can't log in, and I'm putting a keyword here, payments. Payments means what? Money. Then there's a red alert. Okay, this guy is trying to give us money. Then immediately we need to take this complaint. Then it gives some information, lodge complaint. Then it will give all the necessary facilities for us to lodge the complaint. Yeah. So that's how these bots work. And then another example is, recently I had to change my broadband package. So so normally what you will type is, okay, can I please change my data package? And that the chat bot replies, okay, I want to know what kind of broadband that you have. Then it's also asked for the account ID. Then I was successfully able to change it. So this is how we can use machine learning to make our day-to-day life easier, not only the individuals, the organizations as well. Okay, now this is, if you see this presentation, these are tags that I have captured from your project proposals of the hackathon finalist project proposal I got. So all those tags are a summary of your project proposal. So most of them you all have talked about COVID, PCR, and health detection, and about the environment, the air purification, agriculture, food safety, some social concerns as well. So everything can be categorized into certain parts that I have put in the orange color in the right side. So we'll talk about it more. So all these, you're suggesting a lot of apps. So mainly we need to think about how the users are going to interact. You can build an excellent app, top-notch app, but what if the user cannot actually interact? Imagine a person who is in a village. Can he type in English? Can he type asking some questions in English? No, barely. But sometimes they can manage to type the same thing in Sinhala. මට කවද්ද PCR එක ගන්න පුළුවන්, report එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. So when you type that, do you think our app can handle that? And they even not everyone can navigate our app and get what they want. Okay, so we need to take their hand, our customers, we need to take them to the journey. That's what this generation is about. So the subject that I was just talking about, using machine learning to interact with the customers and give what they want, what they really want, and try to solve their problems soon as possible, is something that we can really achieve through machine learning. So we'll dive into some fundamentals. Basically, this concept is not new. You have studied in basic IT input. There's an input coming, and there's a model which kind of identifies the, processes the input, and it gives certain output. And we are using also this output to relearn, restructure the model. Okay, this is the high-level basic concept. So I'll try to simplify things as much as possible. So we'll come up with our own definition. So when you talk about machine learning or artificial intelligence, we'll try to define our own thing. Okay, collect. We are trying to. So here, there's a robot here. So we'll maybe name him. So they have Siri. We can have Siri Pala. So this robot is Siri Pala. So we are telling, okay, Siri Pala, collect data, and you need to find the patterns of this data, and you need to predict. Okay, collect data, find, predict, collect, find, predict. Okay, just put this into your mind. Okay, we'll make it interesting with demos, otherwise it's going to get boring. Video samples and with .ai. Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you something. quick. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Just try to understand what's happening in this video clip. Okay, so this is simply the machine is trying to give a prediction, collect the graphical images and find a pattern and try to give a decision, so that's what it basically does. Okay, so we'll talk about it more. Okay, I'll give you an example. So just imagine I am driving a car and I'm trying to suddenly getting an email telling, okay, I need to customer is asking, can I have an urgent meeting in another 2 hours? So I don't have the time to open out my Outlook calendar and book and see the time and compare the time zones and everything. What I need to simply do is I need to ask my bot, who, let's say Siripala, what's the time in another 2 hours? I need to book a meeting with this customer. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do. So I will give you some indication of how we can begin to do such a thing. So I'm going to use a tool called with.ai. So it's something that helps with machine learning with natural language processing. So it's try to get, how do you say, it's something that we can try to teach natural language to a machine so that we can make use of it. So now, as I said, we are trying to, we'll take a very simple example, as I said. So asking, what's the time in 2 hours? Okay, so it already has some intelligence, so it detects these 2 hours as dynamic fields. So it already identifies some patterns to make it easy. So we know this 2 hours is going to be a dynamic thing that we are going to give, like a parameter. So I'm sure most of you all have at least some basic programming knowledge. So we are giving, teaching the machine and telling it.
And after exercises, group exercise, and after uses, so the time
Heshan, I'm getting a background noise. Yeah, thank you. So there is an entity. So we call this an entity. So this is going to be this dynamic thing is going to be changed. So we are going to add this entity and telling the. So we are trying to teach the machine basically. Let's see if this works. And we are giving the intention for this entity. We are telling to get the time. Yeah. So I'll show it to you again. So what I'm trying to do is, what's the time in 2 hours? Okay. So there's an entity. Let me. Okay. So I'm trying to do is I'm trying to validate this, train this to the user. So we'll see if we have some results already. Okay. So I'm going to try. So we have the machine learning machine trained. What we are trying to do is we are trying to talk to the machine and try to get some results. So let's say if it works. Okay, so machine has replied with an answer. It says it's going to be 6:21. Then now time is 4:21. 521, 621. So that's correct. So my machine has started replying it. So this is how simple it is to create a chatbot or teach the machine to learn things. So just imagine, okay, I need to get one time in 1.5 hours. I'm still driving the car, okay? So still the machine will somehow figure it out and give me the answer. Okay, let's say someone types in Singlish. Um, uh, we'll give it a try. I make a key other in 1 hour. Yeah, it works. Okay, it gave the correct answer. So you can understand how powerful these tools can be. So how you guys can think these free tools you can integrate with your applications. It can be a COVID application that you have submitted a project proposal. It's going to be really interesting. So think about those things. And this tool is provided by Facebook and it's open source. You can try them. Even today, you can give it a try on these tools. Yeah. Now we'll jump into the next part. Okay. Machine learning, again, we'll try to slowly define things. I told you that we are going to collect data and find patterns and predict. So collecting, finding, and predicting. If pattern A is matching, then true. If pattern B is matching, then predict false. So we are first teaching the machine to on how to do things. Then we are giving something, a data, and checking if this pattern is matching with this one. This new pattern is matching with, if it is A, do this. If it is B, do this. Simple as that. Okay, I'm sure you guys have not heard this song. And we have two different songs, okay? And one song is a very slow and very calming, and the other song obviously is very hard stuff. And based on tempo and intensity of these songs, we can put them into two classifications. Let's say there's a person called John. He's more into very heavy stuff. So he most of his songs, now all these dots, let's say those are songs. A is a song, and all this he's liking. The songs that he likes are in this category. The fast songs where a lot of intensity, and the other song, the slow and calm down songs, are not in his liking list. He dislikes them. So once we know this data, once we have this data, we can say to the machine, okay, this is what John likes and this is what John doesn't like. So once we have this data, let's say there's a new new song releasing, okay? So we can ask the machine, can you tell if John will like this song? Okay, so maybe we can okay, where's the pen? Supposed to be a pen here. Wait a second. Okay, so what we can do is there's some basic algorithms. So we are trying to get what are the nearest ones to the song B, and we can get an idea. Okay, within this range, John have a lot of likeliness than the dislikeness. So most probably the song B will fall under his liking category. Okay, that's how we can do a prediction. We can teach the machine to do a prediction. So this is just an example. So the more data that we have, the model will be better and more accurate. Okay. Okay. Now let's jump in. Okay. Yeah. So Scott. Okay. Now we talked about the first part of it. taking the model and applying. And what's more important is, if we come up with a model, let's say John 5 years back is not the same John now. He faces a lot of things in his life. He evolves, he changes. Every human being changes. Okay, so nowadays he might be liking like Manike Mage Hite like of kind of songs. Who knows? Okay, all these factors change. So we need to validate if our results are correct. It's a continuous process, and also we need to train. We need to train the our model with new data. What's his new new songs that he likes. So that's how we keep our model up to date. Okay, the model that was few months or few years back cannot necessarily be correct right now. So that's why this is a recurring process. Training and validation is very important. And nowadays we have terabytes and terabytes of data in social media. Each and every click that you make. So when you type Google and search for something, let's say you search for some kind of a bulb. So what you can observe in few minutes or in few hours time, if you go to Instagram, you will get ads of bulbs. Okay, so that's how these machines are learning us, how they are predicting our buying patterns and everything. So this huge amount of data we need to have, it's terabytes and huge amount of data. This data need to be cleaned and filtered, and we need to make sure no junk data is feed into a model, because if we put in wrong data inside, the model is going to get wrong impressions, wrong conclusions, and it's going to create wrong patterns and ultimately end up wrong outputs. So it's really important that we give correct data, validate them, and train them. Okay, no, it's not what you think it is. So I'm going to do a demo how with some very basic dimensions, how we can identify using machine learning male and female kind of a thing. Okay. Okay, let me try to find out. Okay. So yeah, this is just a React app that I wrote. So it's just some fundamental coding is there. You try to, so I'm the tool that I'm using here is Tensorflow, the library that you can also use. So I'm trying to simply read the images and try to process. Okay, since I have my Zoom camera on, I think I'll have to see if it work. Yeah, there it go. So here you can see what it does is in real time. So a video, if you take a video or a camera, it's a collection of frames, right? Pictures, collection of pictures. So this it real time it sends these pictures as I speak to our model, and it does some prediction. You can see it predicts, okay, what is this person's probability of being a male? What is this person's probability of being a female? Okay, so if I take my face in a different angles, it can predict different how do you say probabilities. So this is what it basically does. So I'll give you more depth knowledge on this. So this is how I train things. Okay, so I am telling, okay, these are the male pictures that I have, and these are the female pictures that I have. I'm labeling them. Okay, these are males and these are females. So keep this word in mind, labeling. I'm labeling male and female. So these are two sets of data. Okay, and I'm training the model. So I have already trained it. So I need to click model training, and it will train them, and it will create the model. So what happens here is the machine now have an understanding who is a male, who is a possible male, who is a possible female. So we'll try to check if this works. Okay, so these are two images which are not in this list. Okay, so I'll try to put this person and see what happens. Can you see? It predicts 98%. It is confident that it is 90% of the time it's going to be a male picture. And let's try another one. Yeah. So this is how we can simply train the machines to understand the input and identify the patterns and get an output out of it. Okay. So now I got you curious. You know what you are going to get into. So these are some formal maybe definitions or something like that. There are I'll give you some how do you say kickoff on to get a basic understanding of fundamentals. So there are, when we try to learn or teach the machine to learn, there are some basic high-level things. We call them supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and semi-supervised learning, reinforcement learning. So we'll try to get an idea about it. So it's basically coming to the question: are you supervising your model? Are you supervising? You means the the person who's creating the model. Are you supervising the model or not? So when I talk the model, just think it's the machine. Okay, we are trying to create this machine. Okay, supervised learning. Supervised learning, we in very simple terms, we know the input and we also know the output. Okay, so take this example. There's a coin here of a country which is one what do you call it? €1 is 7 gram. 1 rupee, sorry, 1 rupee is 3 gram, and some other countries it's 4 grams. Different countries 1 rupees. So we know the outputs, we know the results. So we teach the machine. Okay, machine, you learn these things. We have giving the input, and we have given you the output labels as well. And next time, if I put a 3 gram coin, it will say, okay, it's 1 rupee because it matches this pattern. Okay. So this is same as the example that I showed you with the male-female model. So what it does is we are giving some supervision. Okay, if these images, these kind of images comes, it's possibly a bear head, and if you get such an image, it's possibly a duck head. So we are giving a label to these things. Okay, so next time if some images comes as inputs, the machine knows in which label it belongs to, which classification it belongs to with the label. And there's something called unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning is something we don't know output really. We don't know the output. We know what is the input, but we really don't know the output. So most of the research that we do, research-related work that we do, will obviously fall in this criteria. Or a lot of big data, because we can't. There's too much of data. We can't simply label them all. So take this simple scenario, simple example. So let's say we are adding more and more animals every day. Okay, insects and subcategories. And can we keep on labeling them? How difficult it is. So this is where unsupervised learning will come into play. So take this example. We have some cricketers who have scores and wickets in a particular matches, something like that. And we can get an idea. These players have scored well, but have got little wickets. And these players have got more wickets and less runs. So we have an indication. Obviously, we know about cricket, but the machines, they don't know. So it's so this is how this is an example of unsupervised learning where we give them data, but we can't really label them. Maybe there are bowlers who are good in runs. So using this data, we are not labeling them. We have a lot of unsupervised data. We don't know the output. I'll give you an example. Cluster. So let's say museum items. How we can teach these things to a machine to sort it out. So we call it clustering. Basically, we try to put things into similar categories as much as possible and figure out from there onwards. So we have unsupervised learning, we have supervised learning. So as I explained you already, so supervised learning is basically pre-categorized data. We know what the output is going to be. Unsupervised is something that we are not so sure about. And supervised, we know the output, and unsupervised, we are not in the clear path. Okay, I think that is clear enough. Yeah, reinforcement learning. It's basically, we are giving feedback. Based on this feedback, the machine is learning what to do next and what not to do next. So the car simulations, the car is automatically learning itself how to drive. It turns into certain angle and it understands, okay, it crashed, so next time it will not do it. Okay, this brings to an interesting example here. This is some project that I worked on a few years back. Okay, so this is a cognitive self-assessment tool. So what happens is, when people grow old, for our senior citizens, they get a lot of issues. They get memory issues. They don't remember things as they do when they are young. So we need to, if we are helping them with an analysis, with a tool where they can log in from home and they can get an analysis, how good that would be. So basically prediction. So we are giving them something to do, and we are collecting their data, and we are telling, madam, okay, you need to immediately consult a doctor. Or we are telling, okay, madam, you need to you can follow these procedures and you should be fine. Okay, something like that. So for this, we are not giving some boring questions, and we are not telling them to do. These are senior citizens. So imagine giving them like 50 questions and tell them to fill those things. It will practically never be usable. So in these games, what we are trying to do is, the senior citizens, they will click these games, they will play these games. So we have in this project, it had 7 different games. So we are trying to collect data, time to complete the entire game, the click between 2. So if it is a very person who have a less memory, to click this and to click this, he will take a lot of time. Just an example like that. We are collecting all the possible data like this. And that's not enough. Machine learning, as I said, things need to be valid. A person who's playing this game in a phone, a small phone, and a person who's playing this game in a big screen can have different results. Okay, and we need to collect all this information, and especially their age as well. So that's that's in initial stage. What we do is, we give this game to it's a pilot set, let's say 5,000 senior citizens, and we are collecting that data to research. So that's what the first phase is about. We collect the data, we research, and there are scientists who are working on these, the psychiatrists and the psychologists, and they are coming up with the models. And then they validate it also, and that's how they create the basic model. Then once it is ready for application, then the new senior citizens who want to take this test can come and play the 7 games, and they will have a result end of the games. Okay, so in practical sense, we are first on this game, we are dealing with unsupervised data. We don't have enough data. We are just seeing how what are the patterns, how these senior citizens are playing, and how slow they are, what are their click ranges and everything. So we are getting a model using unsupervised learning. Then once we have some data, we are labeling certain amount of data. Okay, if this person, if this senior citizen with this amount of age plays in this speed, maybe he must consult a doctor immediately, or maybe he not. Maybe there are some other steps he needs to do, something like that. So it's going to be a collection of unsupervised learning and supervised learning. So that's where we are coming now, semi-supervised learning. So that's an example. So the output is known plus unknown. Okay. So again, since there's a huge data, it's a growing data, we need to continuously retrain them. If we create this model sometimes back, it might not be really usable now, because nowadays the senior citizens, they have smartphones and they spend quite a lot of amount on social media. The memory issues that they face is different from what they faced 10 years back. Yeah, these are some high level differences of human and machines as a whole, but I'm not going to deep dive into those things. So applications of machine learning has a huge scope for it. Healthcare can understand sentiments, fraud detection, e-commerce. Okay, now I'll try to jump into one of your projects proposals and see if we can discuss something there. Yeah, let me first turn off my camera. Okay. Okay. So there were some interesting proposals regarding PCR testing, PCR results. So these feedbacks are actually, I think you might have already got via feedback. These are some independent constructive feedback just for you to think and improve. So there's nothing, just some independent constructive feedback. So regarding the PCR apps that you have suggested, so maybe what we can, how we can use machine learning is maybe we can give an indication of when your PCR report will come. Okay, maybe sometimes there's a rush. Maybe you want to go abroad. There's a ticket that you want to book. So what if there's a delay on the PCR result? What is there are some issue with the PCR mechanism? There's a block. So we can give a estimate, okay, dear sir, you will get your PCR report in another 4 hours. Or we can send a notification, dear sir, for unavoidable circumstances, your PCR report will be delayed by 4 hours. Okay, so for all this, machine learning can be integrated. So we collect data from all those sources and we try to give a prediction and estimation, basically. Same as Uber, you have Uber, we have our own Pick Me in our country. So we give predictions, right? Predictions, okay, estimations, okay, in 2 minutes your vehicle will arrive. So just like that, try to think beyond the box. And also now I have showed you some examples on how you can use images, videos to predict things. Maybe there's a person who's coughing. Maybe those images can be processed and give an idea. Dear sir, you are in a very critical or you are in bad shape. You should consult a doctor. Okay, so maybe that's a good idea for a COVID app or COVID detection app, maybe. And I will talk about how we can motivate people to wear the mask properly, and I will show a demo about that. And okay, then some of the project proposals they were mentioned. Okay, after collecting data for a certain amount of time, then we will give you an input whether you need to consult a doctor or not. It can be your heart attack, your blood pressure, something like that. But think about the practical aspect. If you're selling your product, will you tell, okay, sir, I'm please buy my 10,000 products of my one, but you can only test it after 3 weeks or 4 weeks of testing on your hand. Will that be convincing enough? So what if you can train your these to feed your data and train your machine, your artificial intelligence to tell certain warnings beforehand. As soon as you put your wristband in your hand, it starts giving you prediction based on already trained data, which was created using machine learning, because you're creating these applications and algorithms, everything using all the patients who have been who have gone through these issues, blood pressure or COVID or heart attack, and you have a good algorithm with you, pattern detection, and you use that immediately. So that what if a person buys these apps today, tomorrow he's getting a heart attack? Okay, just think about it. So we can really think about these areas as well. And I saw someone have put an interesting suggestion to detect your blood pressure or something like that, all your pulses and everything, and call for an emergency. Okay, for an ambulance. Okay, that's good. But think about the other areas as well. Think about how you can do more, because there are already apps in the market which does the similar things. And what if it happens to my parents or your parent? Will you be just putting that one click, and will you be just waiting for 1 hour? Just think about it. And probably not. I would just find whatever vehicle that I can find, even a toucan. I will try to rush into a hospital, right? Maybe that's the scenario. Maybe what we can try to do is give a prediction algorithm to this mechanism to these ambulance. We just like Uber or Pick Me, we can give, okay, where your ambulance is and how much time it will take the ambulance for you to reach. Or even we can go beyond further. Let's say you are in a very kind of rural area. Maybe the person has only 30 minutes to survive to go to the hospital. We don't know. And maybe there's a meet in the middle option. The ambulance will come half away, and you will can take the patient half away, and we save 50% of the time, and the patient can exchange the patient and taking the ambulance. And the ambulance knows where you are, where you are in your mobile app, and you know where the ambulance is in the maps. Okay, just think beyond. I'm just giving you an idea, stirring your curiosity. And there were interesting proposals about social concerns, visually challenged. So I have personally worked with visually challenged. So there were some examples. I think in more than 2 proposals I saw. Okay, identify color. There are several types of visually challenged people. Some of them from birth they can't see anything. Some of them they got accident. They have faced an accident and they can't. And some of them they are partial. Okay, that means there are certain things that they can visualize, some certain things that they can't. So we need to try to get at an actual problem. So a person who can't really see anything, giving an indication of what color this object is doesn't maybe it doesn't give any value, add much value. So we try to do more research and try to talk to them. These are nice people. Try to talk to them, and they will tell what are the actual real-time problems that they have, so that you can actually try to solve an actual issue. I can only think of a very serious scenario where you just call and ask, Mahatheo, man kohada denna ona. Then they say, the Sri Lankans, right? Mahatheo, ratu paata building thina eka isara. So they will tell, like, maybe then they can turn on their camera and search for a ratu paata building, and they can go into that. So I can only think about that. Other than that, there are more things. Finding maybe a visually challenged, friendly navigation system. They're trying to figure out certain roads and all, and they're more than capable of finding it, more than us. Trust me. And but we can think further. And we can try to how about a social platform, social media platform for the visually challenged, to connect them all, to connect their families, because they have a different world, and they have different issues that they want to solve. For example, if there are a lot of places that they don't have accessibility, maybe they can share, just like we put our issues in social media and make a noise, they can also make a noise. So we can create a platform for them to make a noise. So just giving some feedbacks. Sentiment analysis. Maybe a visually challenged person is trying opening his app for them, and they need to more than the color. Maybe they want to know what this person is feeling. Maybe he's smiling, maybe he's sad, maybe he's upset. Maybe we can identify his face detection and get an indication, okay, this person is sad, or maybe this person is smiling, and this person is laughing so much, and he's laughing silently. So we can detect with machine learning their sentiments, and we can give an indication. Okay. Okay. There was another interesting proposal about recycling things, how to categorize the junk. So this is actually a day-to-day issue that Sri Lankans face, and how to categorize the stuff. Even the people who are collecting are not really sure. What if a product has more plastic and less biodegradable ones, and then how to identify them, how to categorize them? Maybe if there are automated units where it can identify the what garbage fits into what, and it can sort it automatically. So those are the practical applications that we can think of. And another interesting one is about healthy foods. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. There are plenty of apps again in the industry. You can really integrate machine learning for that as well. Let's say you get a packet of some junk food or something like that. It has some ingredients on it. Maybe if you have a good collection of data analyzing these patterns and patterns of buying and complaints of these products, then you can give an indication for the user, hey user, you have bought this product with these ingredients, but in these countries with similar products which has these ingredients have a red warning, meaning people have consumed this and they have got issues, they have hospitalized for some reason. So they can give a red alert, or they can give, okay, this is good for dieting, this is good for vegan, something like that. So there's some ideas to think beyond. There was some fire detection application, which is really interesting as well. We can more think about try to not replace the fire detection and the boxes, instead of trying to make it more centralized and easy to retrain them and more upgradable. There was something for a project for air purification. So for air purification, we need to, I think the idea is good, but we need to scope it down currently. So if you go to the government SA and say, okay, government, we have this project proposal and we are going to clean the air. And the next question they will ask is, okay, what's the budget? Where are you going to do that? Where should we do this? So when you propose something, when you propose a solution, don't take a problem with the solution. Take the solutions with the solutions. So be ready for those things, and maybe you can model them. You can give more data. Okay, these are the areas in Sri Lanka that has more air pollution, and this is where we are going to effectively place them, and we need such amount of units to, if to make them more effective. So we have proved this using the simulations using artificial intelligence. So that's something that you can think about. Okay, then there was a farmers app. I think emails won't be really practical, but what I'm suggesting you all to do is use SMS. There's a pretty lot of things that we can do with SMS. Just like I showed you the app bots, we can easily integrate SMS also, because farmers, they will definitely have a phone. They might not be checking emails or something like that. So using the SMS, there are quite a lot of things that we can do. Try to bring those into your applications. Then finally, there was about gaming. Of course, who doesn't love gaming? And it was a very interesting one. The one suggestion from my end is, okay, there's a gun and two guns. Sorry, one gun, and you're shooting one person. And what if that person is hiding behind an obstacle? And how are you going to do that? Because when you are practical playing a game, you're obviously going to go and hide. So maybe you can think beyond, and you need to put a camera in one of your devices on your headband, and using artificial intelligence, augmented reality, you can easily identify things and identify what kind of a obstacle that you have, or if it's a chair or a table, then you can reduce the damage once you shoot. So there is one thing I think you are missing in your proposal. We can actively think of integrating machine learning and overcoming this obstacle easily. So those are the things that I want to touch in high level. Okay, I think we are almost 1 hour. Okay. Now we'll jump into an demo. So what do you guys think of this image? So they are surveilling. Just imagine that our Sri Lankan police, and they're doing a great job, and they are trying to um, analyze who are the people who are not wearing the mask in the streets, and what area are more crowded, who are not following the health guidelines. Okay, so these crowd control systems are actually in use in many countries to do a lot of things. Okay, so how we can integrate machine learning into this? Using machine learning, we can easily predict, easily capture what are the phases, and we can analyze even their emotions. And there are even apps can easily predict the age. And yeah, just like this. So whenever a bunch of crowd is walking, there's a lot of data captured real time. Okay. So let's think about how we can improve our country, maybe in few years, to implement certain things. Okay, I'll jump into the demo. So, okay. Yeah, I'll have to stop my video. Okay. So this person in the camera, you have already met him. So what, as I said before, is we are trying to feed these images real time, and we are trying to get an indication of something. Okay. So there are two labels basically. So this person can follow the guideline, or he's not following the guideline, health guideline, wearing the mask and not wearing the mask. So I'll try to demonstrate it quickly. So I'm not, sorry, I'm wearing the mask properly now. So you can see how the machine predicts that, okay, I'm doing a good job on wearing the mask. And so it's always a probability. So it shows that I'm doing a good job. Let's imagine we are trying to train our kids to understand about the importance of wearing the mask, and we are kind of also scaring them with the COVID picture, but they will ultimately get the idea. That's one application as well, and surveillance for our security, our health workers, or our security people to see if something is wrong in certain areas and get proper actions. So some people wear masks like this, and some people wear like this, and some people wear like this. This is what happens. So what if we can actively monitor the people who are walking, let's say in a, it can be in a, hope you heard what I was talking. So let's imagine we are implementing this in a factory, garment factory. The garment factories were open even I think sometimes in even the crucial times. But what if we can actively implement this in our garment factories, our workers, to help them identify and motivate them, give a audio message, please wear the mask properly. Once people do it for a while, they get tired, they get bored. It's human nature, we can't really battle that. What we can do is keep on motivating them. We can analyze their picture. Maybe when they enter from the gate, we can analyze their picture. Maybe they can, when they go from their washrooms or from their pantries to the working area, again we can detect their faces and give them warnings. So those are very nice applications. Maybe using the CCTVs, as I showed you, we can do some surveillance and give our police force an idea. Okay, in this area, in this town, there are people who are not wearing the mask properly at all, and then some we need to send someone, or we can fit a loudspeaker there, and we can remotely even give warnings. So I know it can be really sometimes not possible to do this, but those are very simple things that we can do. These are not very complicated. So hope you enjoyed that demo. Now we'll try to move into Yeah, I will just quickly show you how I did that as well. Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, so what I was doing is, so this is me few days back. What I did was, I took a lot of images, like 332 images of me wearing the mask. And I took 401 images of me also not wearing the mask properly. So I've trained my machine, telling that if I am doing this, I'm following the health guidelines. If I'm doing this, I'm not wearing the mask properly. I'm not following it correctly. Okay, that's how I have created. I have taught my machine to learn these things and predict things. Okay. Okay. Hope you all with me. So yeah, we have passed 1 hour. We'll try to wind up in another half an hour. Okay. We are now slowly, we'll try to jump into the e-commerce area. Okay, as I said before, some users, when they visit our web shop or our applications, they sometimes need hand holding, and they need some guidance, and they can be of different backgrounds. They can be from a village, they can talk Sinhala, they can talk Tamil, they can maybe half manage English almost here and there. So, but all of these are customers, our customers. So we need to help them and guide them. Sometimes we have the product, but we don't know the name of it. So try to think. Okay, if you are giving a picture of the product, let's say there's some complicated, maybe a 3D scan or something like that, and it has some bolts. So I'm missing this bolt is, or this particular part of it is damaged, but I don't know the name of this. Okay, just imagine if you are trying to contact the after sales guy and trying to say get his WhatsApp number and sending this and try to ask it is, and it's a huge, there's something process that you need to go. And what if you go to the website and show this, okay, I have this device, I don't know what this device is, and so I'm asking the website, okay, please scan this device and give me its name. I know I need this part to be replaced in my machine so that I can work with it. So it will take this image and then it will send it to the processing, and it will give some suggestions. Yes, sir, okay, these are the products that, this is the exact product that you are searching for, or these are the related products that you can even consider buying for. Or you can say, okay, this product is now out of stock, but sir, but these products are also available, which you can also consider buying, which will definitely work with your particular model. So all this guidance you can give with machine learning. So, and yeah, sometimes as I discussed about chatbots, sometimes you are ordering something and you're not getting the order confirmation email, and you're something wrong technically, and you're frustrated and you're trying to contact the chatbot, and if that doesn't even work, the customer will get frustrated. So customer satisfaction is key. So just to give a reminder, like in ISM APAC, we are mainly dealing with e-commerce domain. So we are always trying to work hand in hand with the customer, and we try to understand their requirements. And at the end of the day, we are trying to develop their projects, and we are trying to how do you say, satisfy them, make them happy. End of the day, doesn't matter how intense your project is, how complex your project is. End of the day, you have to make the customer happy. That's the key. So we need to give them guidance on okay, sir, I think you have missed the confirmation email, so it is being spammed. So I will automatically send you another confirmation email copy. So you can no people, human interaction, or system will automatically send an email confirmation. There's no harm of doing that. So that's how we can incorporate artificial intelligence to our corporate world. And I think the last example I already explained. After sales, there's a filter that you need to change in your water filter, and automatically once you go to the web shop, they know you have purchased certain products 1 month back, and you are coming back for definitely searching for a filter. You can pop up and say, okay, dear customer, I think this is what you are looking for. See how the customer would be happy to see such a message, because it's making everyone's life easier. Yeah, I think I have talked much about these things, so I'll be skipping this. Yeah, so this is an interesting project that was done in our company a few years back. And not like in Sri Lanka, in some other countries, they really encourage to take photos of your customers wearing their products. So here, what this smart frame or whatever that you call it, it allows us, the customer, to buy certain things, to take certain decisions. So once you wear a certain dress and you go in front of this frame, and it really understands you. If you are already registered customer with all your details and your age and everything, it really, these machines can really, how do you say, help you to buy things, to make the customer more happy and happier. So as you can see here, you wear another dress. So in practical sense, what will happen? If I don't like this color, I will go to the dressing room, I will remove this and I'll wear another color and come back and again try, and I'm not happy with that. Again, I will go. And this is a hectic process. What if you can simply ask this machine to, can you please change the color to pink or to black? It will instantly identify your clothing through machine learning, and it will quickly change the color. So customers' decision making can be really, smart. And also it can bring more augmented reality things also to the plate. Sometimes you have a cloth and you need it with the colorless. You can do that with the app as well. You can add a color, you can remove a color. Maybe the customer wants a customized one, you can do that. So think about the infinite possibilities of this implementation. And also, if it is a recurring customer, the customer has bought clothes from you few months back, few years back, and you know what kind of clothes this customer might like. You have the customer history. So you can also, if the customer, and you can also see the customer's emotions in his face. If he's happy, obviously he will be smiling, and he will. If it is sad, you will get a kind of a okay emotion. So you can identify, maybe if customer is not happy or trying to go, or even after some time spending more. Let's say the customer, she's spending 1 hour here and she's not satisfied. You can give suggestions. Dear customer, I think this product is a new product in our shop. You might be interested in this product. You can give suggestions, smart suggestions. And this is how machine learning and artificial intelligence can really change the e-commerce industry. And you can see here, you can even take an image and share with your friends and ask their suggestion about it, or multiple friends can suggest, and you can get a decision in the shop itself. Basically, when the customer comes inside the shop, we don't allow him to leave without buying a product. Okay, it's basically the industry, right? So that's what we want as a corporate. We are trying to sell something and somehow to the customer, and even in the customer perspective, that he or she will get what he really needs and likes. Okay. And as I said, we know the customer's history and what she likes, what his wish list, and we also know the price ranges. We know, okay, this particular customer, yeah, රුපියල් 5000ට වඩා බඩුවක් ගන්න එන ජීවිතේට. Within the last 5 years, he have not bought it. So we know, okay, for that person, if we are suggesting a gown or something for 30,000, 40,000, it doesn't make sense. So we will show something suggestions by matching this person's price range. Obviously, if there's a different pattern, she's trying for expensive ones now, then that also can be detected easily. We know the price tags, right? When we see the machine knows the price tags of each and every cloth before the customer. Yeah. And when it comes to e-commerce, there are more things that we can integrate smartly. So these are some concepts. So I think definitely this will help on your products when you're trying to implement your products and put into your market as well. Your project ideas can somehow eventually become real products. So upselling, you have a old phone and you're trying to convince the customer to buy a smartphone. That's upselling. Cross-selling, you have a phone, you are still trying to sell him a phone cover. Downselling, you are having a smartphone, but that's maybe broken. You're also trying a middle range of phone. Then you're how do you say, suggest something that is of middle price range. So, and also your customers can churn. Churning means there is a customer who buys clothes from your store every day, every month. He's very a big loyal customer, and he's not very happy with the products that we have. He just comes and he's not happy. His emotions are not good, and he just turns away. And we can identify, okay, a lot of customers are unhappy, so we can get a prediction of churn. Churn means the customer is trying to get away from the loyalty of the company. So we can take corrective actions. To improve our services, So, and if we know these buying patterns, if we identify our customers correctly, we have studied them correctly, we can personalize them. Just as I said, when you search something in Google, you get ads in Instagram and other applications. Just like that, we can personalize them. We can target the customers so that we can corner them to buy the products. And we can give optimized pricing. So this is very common. So depending on the industry, it's common in B2B industry, B2B business to business arena, where for some customers they give low prices. For some customers they give high prices. So this happens in practical world. I know for this concept might be strange for some of you, but they know these customers will not buy this product for this price at all. So for them, if they are buying a large quantity, it's okay as a company to give this product in this price. Okay, and for some other companies, they are well-off companies, very reputed companies. For them, giving this product for this price range is not an issue at all. So for customer-based product pricing can be changed intelligently, smartly. We are analyzing his buying patterns, how much products that the customer is buying, and with all these things we can give optimized pricing, smart pricing. Of course, the pricing can be confirmed by a manager, but smart pricing can be integrated with our e-commerce applications to get more predictive results and get more money out of these customers. Have you guys used Airbnb? At least few years back. I haven't used it recently. Even few years back, it gave smart pricing mechanisms. So it knows in December season, it's peak season. Let's say, for example, I can't remember the seasons now. So in some December season, it's a peak season, and that season it's suggesting the host to increase the room prices, because the application knows in this area of the year, in the season of the year, there will be more tourists from these countries, from other countries, so that you can increase your prices. And the off-peak seasons, it will suggest lower prices. So this is all predictions, algorithms that helps us to do things better. And fraud protection. So when you take a credit card, when you do a purchase, there's a pattern that you do, right? You type the ID, you type the expiry date and the code, and it takes some time. It's very methodical, and you hit the one, and there's an OTP coming in from the mobile, and you enter the OTP and do this. So this is a normal scenario, right? Then what if all this happens in 2-3 seconds, quickly, very quickly it happens. So that means something wrong. Maybe someone have written a program to trying hacking the system and trying to make a payment, or trying to get money out of a stolen card or something like that. Okay, so this is just a very basic example, but there can be a lot of scenarios where fraud can happen in a digital world. So fraud detection, anomaly detection, anomaly in the sense like very strange behavior, some incidents that is out of normality. These things can be detected using artificial intelligence, and so we can train the machine to learn these things. So another example is Google have released some free artificial intelligence to identify certain things, inappropriate content, so that any company can use them to moderate their content. Let's say we build an app for our kids. We are building an app. Someone is put some abusive content, adult content, or inappropriate content, or hate speech. We can use these tools to monitor them, analyze them, detect things, and maybe take immediate actions, predict things. So you must have noticed in some Facebook, when you do some Facebook post, it automatically blocks them. Sometimes it goes to the reviewers. That's a different story. But if it is very obvious, maybe it will sometime block them. So all these things you can really bring in and think when if you are building, let's say, a social media for Sri Lankan customers alone, like the locality, building the locality, um, bringing the Sri Lankanness of it, So, and as I said, sentiment, you can really understand what the customer feels, try to understand how the customer feels. If the customer is happy, let's say the same example that I showed you with uh, me trying to contact the customer service and trying to change my data package. And if I'm typing, can I please change my package, and this and that, I'm having a conversation. I'm trying to like half an hour, and I'm not getting what I need. So I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting angry. Okay, I'm maybe putting some filthy word to the chat. Okay, this can happen practically. And okay, the machine learning immediately detects, okay, this customer is happy, he's not in a good mood, and maybe the chat also knows this customer is a very loyal customer, he has been paying his bills on time and all, and he gives a high priority alert to the calling center. Dear agent, there's a customer who is not happy. Maybe you give him an hour until he cools down, and you give him a call after lodging a complaint, so that we can cater this customer, because this customer is important. So that's how we can improve things. So there's always this supply and demand channels, right? For example, we need certain amount of oxygen in our country, and we are trying to order certain amount of oxygen, and we need to store them and back up them, have a plan B, and provide a continuous supply for our patients, COVID patients. Just an example. So for that, we need to get a prediction. Okay, the amount, if we have trained our machines to do it, we know, okay, how much the PCR that we are doing, how much detection is getting increased, how much patients are in the hospital ICUs, how much people are dying. Once we feed everything, we can get a prediction within the next 2 weeks how much of oxygen that we need. Then for that, how much oxygen do we have, how much oxygen that we have to order. Okay, maybe we can do it most in a smart way. We can predict things. Okay, the first wave is over, the second wave is most probably yet to come, and we have to pre-order certain amount of oxygen, and we have to predict our order. We have to arrange the funds for it, and we have to make prepayment for it. A lot of things can be predicted and pre-planned. So this is how we can do an anticipatory, how do you say, ordering kind of a thing. Yeah, that's to give you a overall idea about the application, especially in the e-commerce arena, and also since one way or the other you're trying to kind of sell your products. So I'm sure you can relate any of these things to your product. Even it can be a non-profit fund. Still, it's a non-profit fund. Your customers, the users are your customers. So you're trying to sell it somehow. So you need to make sure that your products are up to that. So let's talk about tools now. So we are in 2021. There are millions of tools, plenty of tools. If you can search in Google, you will find enough. So we have Microsoft, who are providing a variety of a range of machine learning tools. Some of them are free forever. So that means if you can get an account, you can use some of them totally free. Okay, just go and try these things, and I'm sure you can get use of it, because in the prototype that we are making, I don't think we will ever hit such amount of free ratios. So we can definitely try them out. And for people who are really into data science, who are into algorithms and all those things, the Google have the Google collaboratory tool, so you can check that. So with Python and all those third party libraries, you can do a lot of things there. Also, as I said, one of my almost most of my demos were based on TensorFlow. So using TensorFlow, you can do a lot of things. It's free as well. You can make use of these tools. Google also have its range of tools available. That also the same way like Microsoft. It has a free quarter, and you can use them. And there is a plenty of other tools that you can use. So please go and check them out. So these tools are getting updated very rapidly. Let's say yesterday we had 10 tools available. Today we'll have 11 or 12 tools. So every day there are new tools getting introduced. So this screenshot is something I got few years back. So this must have changed rapidly now. They're changing the names, and they're adding new features, and it's completely renewed, revamped every few months or so. So it can range from face detection to content moderation to emotion detection to speech services. In your apps, even person should be able to talk in English or maybe in Sinhala, and it needs to be translated and and processed and give results. So think about those applications. And so this is language understanding, the example that I was talking about initially. Yeah. Okay, I will a little bit touch. Yeah, we have a few minutes. I'll little bit touch in this area as well. Let's say we have a web shop, and it has a lot of languages. Like let's say 10 languages, and the customer know the product name, but in his language. Maybe a person who is in Dutch, he doesn't understand English. He goes and puts a search in Dutch. And can we tell the customer, okay, please search in English? We don't understand Dutch. That's not possible. And of course, in most of the stores, there's a option to change the language, but there can be users who are confused with that as well. So what if we remove all that blockages and steps? We make it, you just go to the web shop, just type what you want, and whatever language that you type, boom, that you get results. And we can use these APIs and machine learning tools to integrate this into a web shops. So even if you type in Sinhala, it will automatically search the results and bring the correct ones in the Sinhala. Yeah, so this is one of the very popular topics quite recently. Even the Facebook was questioned about the content that is responsible for. Even in Sri Lanka, there are a lot of things that are posted in social media, and how to moderate them, how to tackle them properly. Even it's not so complex, and it's not so simple as well. Let's say you're putting an image, and if it is a proprietary image, if it is the image that you are posting, then that can be somehow taken into consideration. What if now we have a meme for army? Okay, so they take these images and they put their faces and the comedian faces and everything, and they create their own thing. And how can Facebook or any other social media moderate this? It can be really difficult, isn't it? Um, yeah, if you take Airbnb again, so we have the host, we have the customer, in the middle we have Airbnb, and if the host can give the number directly to the customer, then they both can meet, and they can rent their room, and they don't need the Airbnb, they don't need to pay Airbnb. So what the such application will do is they learn customer typing patterns, what customer types, they try to moderate the content and see if the customer is sending a mobile number, then they will automatically instantly they will erase that part. Just if you have not tried it, try it in your Airbnb. Try booking a before booking a room. I think you can send a message. Try to send a message to the host. Hi, I need to book this room. This is my number. I don't like to pay Airbnb. I need to just book it directly with you. This is my number. Just send that message. See what will happen, or your email, or any sort of contact number, or any ways of contacting. So it will actively moderate the content and give you a message, okay, you are not supposed to send this. Okay, I think I have shown you the last demo as well. Yeah, we can, there are endless possibilities. You can even, I think you are familiar with the home automation systems. You can give commands in your home, okay, turn off the TV, turn off all the lights, switch on certain bulbs, switch off certain things that are not in use. So there are endless possibilities. With this, I think we have reached our designated time. We'll conclude the presentation for today, so that we can maybe take into some questions of things that we discussed today.